Hey guys, so it's been a while since I made a vlog. Been pretty busy. That's actually one of the topics that I want to talk to you about this week. Is what do you do when a major life change happens, or you have some family stuff you have to deal with, being in and out of the gym type of thing. What should you do? And then also I'm going to talk to you about water intake. So the first topic is, what do you do when you have a life change happen? Now, of course, if we're talking like a pregnancy, I fully recommend that you continue to work out when you're feeling better. I understand I had horrible morning sickness when I was pregnant with my second child, Jackson, for throughout the whole pregnancy. But being active, going into the gym, taking it easy is going to definitely be a good thing for you. It can help with labor as well if you're in pretty good shape. And then, of course, the bounce back from your after body or your baby, getting back into shape after the baby is born will be really helpful if you've stayed active throughout your pregnancy. So definitely one thing I can do, Gabe has a lot of recommendations for pregnancy. Of course, there are several things you can't do. Don't worry, I'm not pregnant. That's not what I'm trying to say. But that's just kind of a big life change that happens with people. I'm actually dealing with some family stuff that has, with my grandma, that has kept me out of the gym for a few days. And basically the reason I want to talk to you guys is because I get this asked a lot. I'm, a really busy person. What happens when I can't go to the gym? So here are a few things that happened to me. I missed the gym for 3 days. And I noticed immediately that my moods changed. I was super stressed out. I was frustrated. I was getting angry at the kids for small little things. I wasn't sleeping as good. And then, of course, your cravings kind of start to kick in too. So I wanted sweets, things like that. Now, I didn't give in to those at the time. And I was talking with Gabe about it, and we realized that I usually do not work out on Sundays at all. That's my day of rest. But he's like, hey, come in this Sunday and we'll work out. And just that immediate change from doing that one workout really helped get me back in the mindset to do it. So, although things can last for a long time, especially, health of loved ones can do this, the one thing that I have to say is you also have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Because if I'm a frustrated, angry person, how is that helping my family stay calm and staying on task and doing the things that they need as well? So now there are some adjustments that I've made. I've kept up now with my weight training. Cardio is not as long, or I fit it in when I can. So that's one thing to do it. You got to also make sure then that your nutrition is key. So if you absolutely can't make it to the gym, you got to make sure that your nutrition's on point. Otherwise, you're going to lose all that hard work that you did. So those are just some tips, some points that I can tell you, it is still very important to put yourself first, because when you're actually in your best mindset, then you're going to be able to help the people that you really need to help. And a lot of people don't think that, especially moms. It's a very easy thing to feel really guilty about doing things like that. But like I said, would my kids rather have me happy, less stressed, not angry and yelling for dumb things, or all riled up and getting mad at them, even though it's just something simple? So definitely take care of yourself first. There are, of course, ways that you can cut back your time in the gym if you have to be fast about it. I always recommend your weight training is more important than your cardio. And then you could always do like a HIIT cardio at home. I used to do this when the kids were really small and I couldn't stay in the gym for like 2 hours. I would do my weight training in the gym, and then at night I would come home and do a HIIT. And I've done a video for you guys about HIIT before, but basically 30, 45 seconds, all out. You can go burpees, jumping jacks, and then you rest for 25 or 30 seconds, and then you do that again. You do rounds of that. It's 15 minutes. If you can get 15-minute rounds in like that, where you're literally doing 1 minute of work or 45 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest, and you're doing about 15 of those, 15 different exercises, 15 of the same exercises, really doesn't matter. You can do that. You're going to immensely help yourself more than if you spent an hour on the treadmill. Seriously. think about this, to be honest. Look at HIIT or high intensity interval training, you know, on the internet, on YouTube. There's tons of different, you know, programs you can try. Gabe gives good recommendations for cardio, but you do not need to be doing an hour of cardio. You can get away with doing that little bit of HIIT and then your weight training, and you'll burn fat faster that way than if you stay doing an hour on the cardio machine and not doing your weight training. So think about that. The other thing is water. So with this kind of whole family thing that's been going on, my water intake has been a lot lower than it used to be. So I drink one of these, which is a 40 ounce. Sorry, that's going to be backwards for you guys. But it's a 40 ounce water container. So I fill that up 5 times a day, which makes it about 1.5 gallons, maybe a little bit more. So that's what I drink throughout the day. Now, over these past few days, because I've been kind of in and out of dealing with stuff and not able to take my water with me, I noticed that I was only getting maybe 2-3 of those max. So for the past 2 days, I asked Gabe about it this morning. For the past 2 days, 2 mornings, I've woken up and my fingers have been crazy swollen. And I'm like, what is going on, Gabe? He's like, how's your water intake? And so I told him what had been going on, and he's like, well, that's what it is. And you can look this up on Google. If your hands are swollen, your feet are swollen, one of the first things or the first signs is that you're dehydrated. So my body went from having 1.5 gallons every single day, even on the weekends, to dropping that down to less than a gallon. So you would think, wow, that's still a lot of water, but it's my body was used to having, the 1.5 gallons, so dropping it by half, maybe 3, by a quarter-ish, it really was affecting me. So these are small signs. I've also heard of other people getting really bad headaches when they don't drink enough water. Now remember, you need 8 cups of water, 8 cups. That's 64 ounces if you're just sitting at home doing nothing. That's the recommended daily intake. If you're doing any sort of activity, you're supposed to add a few more cups on per, I think it's like per half hour or per hour of activity. So if you're doing these exercises, you need to get in more water. If you're doing the beast workouts, you definitely need more water. And also, if you drink caffeine, you're supposed to substitute that. So if you drink, like, say, a cup of coffee, you're supposed to replace that with a cup of water after. So it's not like you should get 8 cups of water and then you forget that you had 2 cups of coffee. No, then you technically need 10 cups of water plus your 2 cups of coffee. And that will be the correct hydration for your body throughout the day. Now, like I said, we want you to drink a little bit more, but there are some people that absolutely hate water. So that's starting point, 8 ounces, 8 cups. So those are some recommendations that I have. Also, if you hate water, I know a lot of people really don't like water, you can do different things. I make sure I drink at least 3 of those big containers there. I drink at least 3 of those of pure water. Then if it's later in the day, I might add like a packet of the Crystal Light type of things to that. But that's 1 packet to that huge bottle. So it's still pretty watered down. Or you can do like lemon in your water. You can add, I've seen people like doing like cucumbers or adding mint, adding fruit, strawberries, blueberries into their water just to kind of give it that taste, that little bit of hint of flavor. And then, of course, just drinking it, making yourself drink it is the last resort, right? But really, water is very key. As you can tell, I mean, I drink a lot of water and I was still getting pretty swollen in my hands. And water also helps speed up your fat loss. I remember one of the main questions I asked Gabe, okay, what can I do to help with getting rid of belly fat? And he's like, increase your water. And that's why I started drinking so much. I've always liked water, so it's never been a problem for me. But I started drinking what I was supposed to be drinking and it really helped. And it sounds crazy that you would want to drink water because you think you're going to get, water retention and bloated and all this, but no, as we can see, the opposite happens when you're dehydrated. And when you're dehydrated is when you start to see the water retention, the swelling, all that happening. So those are some ideas you can try. Always try and make time for yourself in the gym. Don't forget that, very important, so that you can be a happy, healthy person for you, your family, whoever you need to be for your animals. And I will talk to you guys next week. Have a great weekend.